How are we doing, guys? And it's Monday afternoon and a bit of breaking news. And it might be the international break, but already within 24 hours of the last game in the Premier League, we've got something juicy to talk about. And I wasn't expecting this, but if you haven't already seen it, Premier League referee David Coote, a video has emerged online. Like I said, if you haven't seen this video, you need to go and watch it. It won't be difficult to find. And it looks like it's an old video, probably a year or so ago. And he's talking to what I'm presuming is his friend. And he's talking about Liverpool and in particular Jurgen Klopp. And some of the things he says about Jurgen Klopp. He calls him a see you next Tuesday. I won't use the specific word, but I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. He slates Liverpool, and it's not a good video at all. And as far as I'm aware, the PGMOL have suspended him whilst they investigate, and they're not going to make no further comment. But I think this just raises the issue of referees and the PGMOL in particular in this country. I've said it for a very, very long time, and this is not specific to Arsenal or Liverpool or any other team in the Premier League. As fans of a club, you can all feel that you've been hard done by, that referees have got it in for you, and that there's corruption and everything else. These kind of videos only emphasize how much corruption there actually is within this Premier League, or I say the Premier League, the PGMOL, the whole Referees Association, and why there needs to be dramatic change from top to bottom. Howard Webb should resign first and foremost, because he should be embarrassed as the head of an organisation that is so shockingly bad. And then you have to sit there and say to yourself, how many other referees have the exact same mindset of David Coote, but they just don't have the stupidity to go and stick themselves in front of a camera and let their friend record what they say? We already know that there's bias within the league from referees towards teams. We already know that certain referees favour certain clubs, and we have to sit there and ask these questions. We were doing it the other week when I was saying, why is Jared Gillett on VAR and officiating anything to do with Arsenal or Manchester City when he's publicly known as being a Liverpool fan? Surely there's a conflict of interest there when you look at the teams involved. You know, and listen, at the end of the day, we know that you have to give referees that kind of... they have to be like... you can't really go and question their integrity so much and say you're blatantly gonna cheat, but we all know that they are. You know, where a person comes from, where they're raised, and apparently you're meant to say which club you supported and you can't do certain games, but it's very evident that referees have a bias towards certain clubs. They'll like certain clubs, they'll like certain managers, they will dislike certain clubs, and they will dislike certain managers. And that is fact. And that is why there's been such a big call for foreign referees to be taken over in the Premier League. Does it wipe out, this side of things completely? No, it doesn't. But it will eliminate so much of this bias and this horrible organisation that is just rotten to the core from top to bottom. And I promise you this now. You think it's bad at the top, you can go right down to the bottom of the pyramid in English football, and it's still bad. I own a non-league football club. I see it every single week. I look at some of the stuff that we see at the lower end. And for an example, if you want to be an assistant referee in the 10th tier, I believe it is, of the football pyramid, then you don't need to have more than your first set of badges that you're required to take. But you cannot referee a game in the tier below, which is not specifically on the pyramid. It's step 7. You've got to have a different requirement. So explain to me how you are not qualified to officiate a game in the middle in step 7, but you're qualified to be an assistant referee in a level above, which is actually on the non-league pyramid. It makes no sense. You still can have a massive bearing on the game, whether you're an assistant referee or a referee. And I know a lot of referees that I've spoken to have actually said that it's wrong, that it's not right. And we see it all the way through. I can watch games in step 4 to step 3 to the national leagues in step 1 and step 2. And I'm looking at some of these officials and I'm thinking, wow, is this the next generation that are coming through and trying to work their way up the pyramid and get to the Premier League? Because if it is, we're in a world of trouble because they're terrible. I know the majority of us don't like referees anyway, but I know some really good ones. Trust me on that. There are some really good ones out there, but there's so many more poor ones. Believe me on that. There's a lot of poor ones. And I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking to myself when I look at this now and I think there's no coming back from this. I'm sorry, but there's no coming back. You can't be sitting there and saying the things that he has about Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool and think that you can come back from it. And I think there needs to be a full investigation about the whole PGMOL, about the whole referees and the organisations in general. This only emphasises the claim that I've been making for ages that Arsenal have certain referees that have certain agendas against them. And I'm adamant of it. But like I said, we just haven't had a referee stupid enough as David Coote to get in front of a camera when he's clearly pissed or high or whatever, but he's not normal. Anyway, he's been taking something, whether it's an illegal substance or alcohol, I don't know, but he's clearly not of a normal sound body and mind. And he's just talking. And the whole video is weird because his friend is holding it up and speaking into it like he's talking to somebody. You know, like if you was on a live stream or something and you would be saying to everyone, because he was saying, he's a really good guy. Let's not, ruin his career and everything else. And I'm thinking, who are you talking to? If this is just a video you're holding up and you're filming and it's just you two in the room, who are you talking to? That's how off their heads I think they actually were. That they're not actually talking to someone, but they're speaking into the camera like they are. And then David Coote then turns around and says, that last video cannot go anywhere. Like he knows. He's sound mind enough to be able to say, that can't go anywhere because what I've just said, if that gets out, I'm in trouble. What are you doing? I think this could well bring the whole pack of cards down. It's like a domino. And you push that first one and they all start to fall. This could be it. We could finally get some change. We could finally be able to get this whole crap organisation done. Or changed at least from top to bottom. When you've got someone in charge like Howard Webb who was dodgy as hell anyway when he was a referee. And then you're sitting there asking for analysis, from people like Mike Dean And you had Mike Riley in charge before. My word. You ain't ever going to have change. You ain't ever going to have change. And what I will say to every single club, I understand the tribalism of football clubs, the rivalries and everything else. But for this is where everybody has to put all those rivalries aside, join together and say enough is enough. The whole entire organisation is poison and it needs changing from top to bottom. These officials are incompetent, they're incapable, they're corrupt, it's negligence, everything. Done. So how's that for a Monday afternoon? Yeah, I hope something gets done, but we all need to join forces together, whoever you support, to make sure there's change. Do not let them brush this under the carpet. Do not let them make one person take full responsibility. And I know he's got to take responsibility because it's him that's actually been caught and him that said the things he said. But at the same time, everybody in that organisation should be held accountable, because there is absolutely no way that they don't all talk amongst each other and with friends and they all say the same things about different clubs. But like I said, David Coote is just the only one stupid enough to have done a video with one of his friends. Idiot. What an idiot. So there we go. That's the breaking news. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that breaking news. Is that it? Should he be anywhere near a football pitch again? And should there be change with the PGMOL? And should Howard Webb resign? Because there's just too many things going on under his reign at the top in this organisation. It's embarrassing and it's a bad day for them. It's a bad day for the Premier League. And hopefully this is the start of some change, because we need it big time. Anyway, listen, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.